Good morning to each of you. My name is Arthur L. Woodard Jr., and the program says that this is a reading of honor, but my specific assignment is to speak on Mr. Steels as my teacher. And Derek, let me say before I start, some of this stuff I can repeat, and some of it I cannot. But Mr. Steels was special to me, and we had a really unique and peculiar relationship as student and as teacher. In fact, I called him Stilly, and he in turn called me Dummy. But in a profession that is dominated by women, Mr. Steels was special because I can count on two hands throughout all of my educational career the number of male teachers that I had, and all of them are special to me. He was my prestigious, prolific, and preeminent math teacher at Lake Charles Boston High School, and it was his mission to ensure that young black kids were proficient in the subject of math. Nobody taught math like he did. Brother Hartfield mentioned his computer prowess. He was the first teacher I remember embracing technology way back in 1999 in the classroom. Never opened a geometry book. All of his lectures and lessons were done by overhead projector. I first saw an ergonomic keyboard in his class, and it so inspired me that when I went to school, I majored in computer science with a minor in, guess what? Math. We were in class one day, Coach Steels, and Steels called me to his desk, and he went into his pocket and he commenced to give me the keys to his car, and he said, "Dummy, I need you to go make a run for me right now." I say, "Go make a run?" He said, "I need you to go pick up my clothes." I said, "Pick up your clothes?" He said, "Dummy, be quiet." "Yes, I need you to go pick up my clothes." And so he gives me the keys to this champagne-colored Mazda 626, Coach Steels, with a red Kappa Alpha side plate in the front, and I took his keys, and I did what he told me to do. I went and picked up his clothes, Mr. Maxiel, from Gaydridge Menswear on College Street during class. This was during class. You think that's something? We were getting ready to go to Baton Rouge. I'm almost done, y'all. For our Mu Alpha Theta math competition, and he was making preparations. We got to the school, getting ready to go, and he realized that he didn't have enough room to fit everybody in the van he had rented. And so quickly thinking, he came to me, he said, "Woodard, now I've already seen you drive my car." He said, "So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to drive the van, and you're going to drive my car with about 4 other students in it to Baton Rouge." And I thought to myself, if parents knew what Steels was doing, this was crazy. But I did what he told me to do. And so I drove his car to Baton Rouge. We made it safely. We excelled in the competition. But I forgot to mention that this was the same weekend that I had a choir competition in Jackson, Mississippi. And so I had already made arrangement with Ms. Williams. She'd stop and get us in Baton Rouge and a few other students. We hopped on the bus. We got So the bus came to Baton Rouge. We hopped on the bus on our way to Jackson, Mississippi. But before all of that, I remembered that I wasn't going to be able to drive the car back to Lake Charles. And so I said, "Mr. Steels, how are you going to get your car back to Lake Charles?" Steels put them fingers on me, y'all. Y'all know he used the middle fingers like it was his index fingers. Steels said, "Don't ask me no questions, dummy. Let me take care of it." We get on the bus. We go to Jackson. We come back. Steels' car is at the school Monday morning. And so I asked Stilly, I said, "Stilly, how you got your car back to school, back to Lake Charles?" And his response blew me away. He said, "Because some of y'all got on the bus to go to Jackson, I had enough room to get everybody back in the van." He said, "And after I got everybody home safely, I went to the bus station and I got me a one-way ticket back to Baton Rouge." He said, "When I got to Baton Rouge at about 2 or 3 in the morning, I called a cab, and the cab brought me back to the hotel to get my car." He said, I got in my car and then I drove back from Baton Rouge at about 3 or 4 in the morning, made it back to Lake Charles at about 6 or 7 Sunday morning. And in that moment, at 16 years old, it hit me. And I don't think he realized how enormous and profound the impact was, because it confirmed for me what I really already knew. And that was that Mr. Steels cared about us. And so I said all of that to say, you don't ever really realize all of the people who stamp and imprint and have a positive influence on your life. He was that for me. He was more than my teacher. I'm done. I want to intentionally say to his wife, thank you. To his children, thank you. To his grandchildren and to his entire family, thank you for sharing Mr. John D. Steels Jr. with me.